You know, one of the greatest morning mind benders to me is how 1% of people get 100 times, 500 times, 1,000 times better results than 99% of people in their lives. And there's no way to really explain this with just a simple concept like IQ, or starting off circumstances, starting off rich, or even luck. Because if you look at IQ, our IQ ranges really aren't that different, and doesn't explain the 99% difference. If you look at circumstances, while there is more chance that you're going to be successful if you start off rich or in a good circumstance, there's no real correlation to show that 99% difference right there. And luck, if you do something long enough, you're eventually going to get lucky. So what is it? And so I've been thinking about this the past 2 months, and I've really pinged it down. And the answers didn't come from a lot of thought or deep concepts. They came from video games. And if you look at 2 video games in particular, and concepts in these games, World of Warcraft and The Sims, they really hold the answer to this question. And if you can take these concepts and break the plane of reality between video game and these games, it's almost impossible not to be successful. Let me explain. So, give me a few seconds to develop this idea, because it's a real brain fuck, and I need to set the trap for you to perfectly understand it. And if you don't have 2 to 5 minutes to understand this is going to make my point in why your life probably is not where you want to be at right now, or you're not hitting the peaks that you want to hit. This explains almost everything. And the place that I'm drawing this all from is not where I'm at right now in my life. My business did well over 8 figures in sales last year, and a lot of the things I do on this channel are hard to explain to people who come to this channel because there's very few people at that point. I'm not tuning my horn, it's just there aren't very many people watching this channel making that amount of revenue from their business. So more importantly, what I want to focus on right here is what happened between when I first got started and then when I had my first $1.5 million year. And the whole conundrum between it is that when I first got started, it took me almost 1 to 2 years to really start getting successful. And I just failed all over the place. It was a complete mess. And then when I actually developed the concepts I'm about to introduce to you in this video without knowing them, I didn't just go and have these ideas then, but these concepts came into my life. Once I had these concepts, very quickly I shot to $1.5 million a year. Very quickly, in almost about 6 months once I actually got it honed in. And so I want to explain this to you right here, because that's the point a lot of you guys are trying to get to. Maybe 6 figures a year, 500,000 a year, million a year, some of you guys. And I consistently see people slingshot to these levels once they get these concepts. And then I also constantly see people work for years and never get any results whatsoever. And it's because they don't have these concepts. It explains all of it. And it all comes down to video games, primarily The Sims and World of Warcraft. And what's going on in these games is people are able to achieve things in these video games that they would have extreme difficulty achieving in their lives. But I was thinking about what's the difference between what's going on in these games and what's going on in their lives. And the only answer is just a barrier of thought. And so if you can understand how to break this barrier of thought, you can literally hack reality and hack yourself into being a person that gets those 100-time results. And the God's honest truth is most people get piss poor results in their life. They do not get results. They get very unsatisfactory, unfulfilling results their entire life, and then they die. That's the truth. And if you want to avoid that, I'd listen up, because this is how you break away from it. And if you want to attack success or building a business or anything without having these concepts in place, you're going to lose. It's not going to happen. It didn't happen for me until I developed about half of these. And if you can get all of these in order, it's very, very easy. My business has doubled in the last 60 days just because I finally got all this stuff in order. I haven't even completely solved all this stuff yet. That's why it's so important. So let's talk about it. Look here. In order for me to do these concepts justice, we need to break down the concepts themselves and how they tie in together, and really break down the thing we're trying to achieve here, which is success and entrepreneurship. The ability to make a lot of money and really control ourselves to get 100 times results, better results than anybody else. That's really what we're looking for right here. We must get better results than everybody else. And we need to break down the 2 things that make up success. And this is the only 2 things. It comes down to tier 10 work, and it comes down to willpower. If you have these 2 things, you will be successful. You will get 100 times better results than other people. If the average income per year is $45,000, this is how you make $500,000. This is how you make $5 million. Okay? So, look, if we're going to go and achieve these things, we need to break down the things that allow us to achieve them. So, how do we do tier 10 work and how do we achieve willpower? Well, these 2 video games, The Sims in World of Warcraft, people are able to go and achieve tier 10 work in The Sims. And in World of Warcraft and The Sims, they're able to achieve pure, unrelenting willpower that allows them to achieve tier 10 work. And I had to think to myself for the longest time, why are people able to achieve tier 10 work and willpower in these games, but the second that barrier between the video game and their life is crossed, all of it collapses? And a lot of people are going to think, oh, you know, that's because in The Sims they're not actually doing the work. And in World of Warcraft, they're just playing a video game, or they're not actually doing the work. They're not actually doing it, and that's just not true. In World of Warcraft, you have to work really hard to get to the top level. In The Sims, if you play the game, if you play your life like you play The Sims, you're going to get the exact same results. And so I had to think, why are people able to play The Sims for 8 hours straight and operate like a very high-level person? Why are they able to play World of Warcraft for 12 hours straight and operate on the highest levels possible of their being, but then they break down? And it's not because they don't want results. They clearly do want results. It's not because they're not capable of working towards results. They're clearly capable of it. And it's not because they're incapable of making the right decisions and prioritizing their life and having discipline. They're capable of it. And it really comes down to how the games are designed to activate willpower in your head. And then it really comes down to recognizing how to do tier 10 work in your own life. If you do these things right here and you're able to unlock these, you're going to be able to play these games exactly like you do on a computer, but you're going to be able to transfer that into your life, and it allows you to essentially hack reality. It allows you to go and get 100 times better results than other people. So, first thing we need to talk about is tier 10 work. And in order to do tier 10 work, we're going to need willpower. And we're going to get to that here in a second. You're going to ask, Alex, how do I get the discipline? How do I get the energy? How do I get the focus to do these things? We'll talk about that here in a second. But this is a two-part equation. So, first, let me give you a summary of how The Sims works. So, in The Sims, most players' goals is to become extremely rich and successful so they can buy all the cool objects for their sim. So what goes into becoming rich and successful in this game? It goes into getting promotions at your job that the sim has in their class of job, what they're doing. And the things that go into you getting promotions at your job are your sim's overall happiness and the skills that your sim has. And where the happiness is controlled by, and what controls your sim also being able to achieve the skills they need to learn, it's controlled by energy bars or life bars in The Sims. You have certain characteristics like energy level, which is essentially sleep, hunger, going to the bathroom, the environment you're in, socializing, and fun. And there's a bunch of other ones, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Just keep it simple. And if you max these out by doing activities in The Sims, for example, socializing, you go and talk to people. Fun, you go and have the sim watch TV. Energy, you have the sim sleep a certain amount of time. Hunger, they eat, they're full. If you achieve these things, the sim is going to be able to do two things. They're going to be able to study and learn skills, and they're also going to be able to go and perform very highly at work. And if you combine these things together, you have success. And so if you watch a really good Sims player play, they are able to max these bars out very consistently and maximize happiness, especially when the sim is going to work. And when the sim is not working, every moment is spent to filling these bars back up so that they can go back to work and do great work again. And they also prioritize these bars around learning new skills so that they can go to work and get those promotions. And so if you're going to watch a really good sim player play, you're going to notice they have an extremely rigid routine. The sim wakes up the same time every single day. The sim eats the same food every single time. The sim manages to get 8 hours of very clean sleep. And the environment the sim works in, the house is designed well to make the sim happy there. And when the sim is done with work, they focus on socializing and fun in very set, rigid routines. For example, there's going to be an hour of socializing and an hour of fun before bed so that these bars are filled up, and then the sim does it all over again. And then, for about a 3 to 4 hour period, or until the sim's energy level is low, they have the sim learn skills. And the funny thing is, if you look at a successful person, it's exactly the same fucking thing. Down to a T. Down to a freaking T. Every part of a super successful 100x results person's life is optimized around these things. So let me explain how I work and how every super successful person I know works to a certain extent. And yes, there are examples against this rule, but the more you internalize this, the easier you're able to get those results. And I want to ask you one thing before we get into this. If you want to be successful, a super successful person always stacks the deck in their favor. The way you make hard things easy is you stack the deck in your favor. You don't try and play with a disadvantage. So let me kind of give you my daily routine. I'm up at 4:30 a.m. after 8 hours of sleep. So my energy bar is maxed out. And I also have a very specific diet that allows me to have maximum energy at the same exact time. And during this time period right here, what I do for 12 hours straight till about 4 is I just work. There's nothing else that comes into it. And then I eat a very specific diet to recover my energy. And then I relax and socialize in a very set way. All right, I have like a literally time period that I will spend with my girlfriend. I have a set level of enjoying things I will do. And then the rest of the time I will study and I will go to bed at about 8 o'clock at night and then repeat the process. Now, there's a bunch of other things that go into it. My office, literally down to the light bulbs. This is something I stole from Sam Ovens. He kind of showed me this thing right here. Down to the light bulbs. It's literally designed to inspire happiness and fill up that energy or that environment bar. And when you look at every aspect of everything I do, it's to maximize these bars. And if you look at every aspect of my schedule and everything I do, it's to maximize these bars. I have a set time I shower at. I have a set time that I study at. I have a set time that everything gets done and then the routine resets. Because I know that this 12 hours right here is essentially the work time in The Sims. This is the time when the results come in. This is when I go and get the promotions at work. And during this time, I have complete maximized everything. And then I go and spend the rest of the day filling up those bars again. And then when the bars are completely filled up by the very scheduled routine, what then happens is I study. And then the whole process resets over again. I get that 8 hours of sleep, and so everything's filled up. Boom, at 4:30 in the morning, bam. Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. Again. Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down. So in order to have that routine, you have to have really strong willpower. And I'm going to show you to easily achieve that willpower by looking at how people achieve it in The Sims and World of Warcraft. It's actually pretty easy to achieve. We'll get that here in a second, though. That's the final. It's not going to make sense until we get to that. I just want to let you know that that's coming. But we want to talk about how a beginner and a struggling entrepreneur do their shit. So during their work periods, a beginner usually has about 3 hours because they got other stuff going on in their life that fills up their time. Let's say a normal entrepreneur has about 8 hours a day. And by the way, my schedule is not required of you if you want to get to 100 to 500 bucks, even $1,000 a day. It's not. I want to become a billionaire. I want to do some really weird shit. All right. I want to have a company that's worth $500 million. So I do stage 10 level weird shit. If you want to get to 100,000 bucks a day and have financial freedom, you don't have to do it to that extent. But you must understand where you're failing at. So when people play The Sims, even beginners and struggling entrepreneurs, it's very clear. You need to have all your life bars filled up because in the short and narrow of it, you can't succeed if you feel like crap and you don't feel good. You're not going to have the energy to succeed. You're not going to have creativity because your mind's not all there. You're not going to have focus because your mind's not all there. You're not going to be able to perform at the levels you need to be or make the decisions you need to make because your clarity will not be there. And because your happiness, in short, is not high, you're not going to be successful at it. You have to be feeling good when you're doing something. In order to have those higher level thoughts and make those great decisions, you got to have these things. And in order to really have these things while you're working, you got to have a tight routine. You got to have it tight like a tiger, okay? Austin Powers references. I love it. All right, but anyways, you have to have a tight routine. You have to have this down pat. And you can't have anything that messes up these bars, or you're not going to unlock these things that you need to do tier 10 work. So when people are playing The Sims, it's so obvious. Oh, just have a routine and do that. But the second they cross that barrier into their life, suddenly they can't do that. If you look at a person's life, let's look at their energy bar. They have a shitty diet and they have poor sleep patterns. So their energy bar is never filled up. Well, then their happiness is never filled up. They completely don't have anything scheduled. Every part of their day is distraction. They're checking Instagram. They're checking Facebook. They're going and doing a bunch of irrelevant stuff like working on their electric bill or having a phone call with just a completely irrelevant thing. They're working on 8 different businesses at a time. In The Sims, you don't have 8 different jobs. You have one job. And because of that, they don't really ever get much done during the day. Their routine is a complete absolute mess. Truly think about your life. Is there any consistency in the routine? Is your diet the same? Is everything optimized around you getting the most amount of sleep, getting the most amount of energy, getting the most amount of relaxation that you need to get results? Is the place that you're working in set up to get you results? If you look at most beginners, this is what their day looks like. They come to their work period after getting like 5 hours of sleep and living off tacos. And so what happens right there? They're already at a massive disadvantage. And because they don't have any routine or discipline, or they don't set periods of time away from something, even this work period right here is split up amongst bullshit. Checking Instagram, checking nonsense. So during this 3-hour work period right here, they really only get like 30 minutes of work done. And because they're not feeling good, they're not able to have creativity, they're not able to have clarity. And what then happens is you just have shit work. You can't deliver dog shit work and expect to get 100 times better results. Your work has to be 100 times better than other people's. And so, because it's distracted work, because it's shit work, and because they don't have clarity or creativity because they feel like crap, nothing gets done. They don't see anything. They're essentially blind people going through this. And the same thing applies to most entrepreneurs. They're doing stuff like getting drunk, and so their energy bars are all over the place. They're doing stuff like eating bad food. They're doing things like having a completely unorganized life. They're doing things like they come down to their workspace, and it's like their laundry room. Doesn't work like that. And so all your bars are constantly filled to zero, and it looks like crap. And then when you get done, you don't have any relaxing habits. You do stuff that's not relaxing. And it's also unproductive. So you go and watch TV and you overwhelm your brain with stimulation. That's not reaction. You go and play actual video games, which is ironic here, which overstimulates your brain so you're not relaxed. You go and do all these things that stop you from sleeping and do all these things that stop you from relaxing, so you never actually recover. And then you don't invest the time into the skill sets needed to actually do great work right here because you're not recovered and you feel like shit. And you don't have the willpower to do that, like we'll talk about here in a second. And so this, guys, is why it blows my fucking mind when people think the reason they're not succeeding is because they're listening to the wrong guru or the right guru, or they're using the wrong business model or the right business model. It's not about you doing Amazon FBA versus Shopify. It's not about you doing consulting versus email marketing. It's not about some magic tactic, and the reason you're not successful is not going to be changed by any tactic or any guru or any fucking lesson you will ever learn. If this is the logic that you're telling yourself on why you're not successful or why you haven't become successful, let me explain the equivalent to it. This is like buying a racehorse and then feeding it Taco Bell and Play-Doh. Just Play-Doh and Taco Bell. And then you go and put the racehorse on the track after it gets done throwing up everywhere because its body is literally made of Play-Doh and dead horse meat from Taco Bell. And then it gets in the race and it runs the race and falls down halfway through and then barely finishes the race. And then you go, I think there's something wrong with the horse. This horse just obviously has the wrong genes. No, it's because you're feeding the horse fucking Play-Doh and Taco Bell. You goofy individual. That is why the horse did not win the race. There's nothing wrong with the horse. Any horse can win, but the horse cannot live off Taco Bell and Play-Doh. And that's how I get better results. It's nothing magic. If you're going and doing shit work with all your bars not filled up, and it's distracted work, and you're not developing the skills, and you're not relaxing, and all your bars are constantly down the crap, you're not doing tier 10 work. So you won't get results. Now, the funniest thing about this is only half the equation. If you achieve willpower, you can actually do some incredible things without this. But once you get to a certain level, willpower is not going to cut it. And so I want to attack this first. And the thing I also want to point out right now is that if you try and use willpower without these things achieved, it's going to be so much harder to get results. It's really easy for me to get results right now in my life because everything's optimized. It's like before, if I was a plumbing system where the goal is to get water from one end to another to get results, it was like there's a bunch of clogs in there and stuff like that, but I was just pumping water as hard as I could through that system. Now all the clogs are removed, the water's going straight through and coming out the other end and just getting pure results. So how do we unlock willpower? How do we unlock the willpower to have this type of discipline routine? How do we unlock the willpower to actually go and pursue skills? How do we unlock the willpower to have super focused, non-distracted work? Because you can't do this stuff without willpower. So what does this come down to? How do we achieve this? Well, if you look in The Sims and you look at World of Warcraft, People can go and play The Sims for 8 hours straight, and they can achieve the discipline in The Sims to develop these routines. How? How can they make such better decisions for their virtual self, but they can't make the same decisions for their personal self? And you could say, well, you're not the person in the game. And that's not really true. Because the reason why you're getting those results in the game is because you're having fun getting those results, and that allows you to have the willpower to will yourself to get those results in the game. So why don't you have willpower to get results in your life? You got to figure that problem. And the way you really figure that out is by looking at how World of Warcraft is set to addict people to it and unlock massive fulfillment. And here's exactly why. If you look at World of Warcraft and The Sims, every person's need is being fulfilled. And it's also being broken down in ways that they can release a lot of dopamine to unlock that fulfillment and allow them to get more and more dopamine hits by working towards the goals that they've achieved. And so there's really three parts. There's social recognition and feeling of value. There is fulfillment. And then there is belief. If you have these three things, you unlock massive willpower. So let me explain this real quick. In World of Warcraft, all three of these are fulfilled to their very maximum. When you log into that game, what first happens is you start seeing other people who've gotten the results that you're looking for. And you also start seeing, whenever you do something, you start seeing yourself instantly start getting results in a little bar in the bottom of the screen as you start to level up. Same thing happens in The Sims. You see other houses, you see other Sims, and you start seeing progress towards your goal go there very quickly. And because you know it's a video game, and you believe that the video game and the algorithm on which the video game works on, for lack of better words, you believe it's going to happen. So there's nothing stopping you from having the willpower to go out there and try and achieve fulfillment in the game. But think about it in your life right now. In the business you're working on or the way you're pursuing entrepreneurship, do you truly believe it's going to happen? Probably not. When I first got started, I didn't believe that I could really have success out of the Air Force. I thought it required some special genius type being. But if you look at the charts and ranges of people's IQs, we're really not that different. And while there is some correlation between IQ and success, it doesn't explain the massive 99% gap between people. There's plenty of people of average IQs that get 100 times better results than other people. And while there's a bit more geniuses who get crazy results, that's like saying you have to be 7'5" to play in the NBA. Yeah, there's a few people that are rigged to play in the NBA because of how tall they are, but there's plenty of people that are 6 foot tall to 6.5 tall. And the cool thing about brain power and brain focused skills and pursuits is it's not athletic based. It really just comes down to how you train your mind. If you look at the most successful NBA coaches, for example, they're usually not the smartest ones. They're usually the most boring ones. They have very boring, rigid routines. Like if you look at Bill Belichick from the Patriots, or the coach of the Spurs, or the college coach Witten, they didn't focus on big, sexy things. They didn't focus on big, genius, creativity things. They focused on very small things and tracking them. And so you can learn how to do that too. But the problem is, you don't unlock that belief because you don't believe it. And when have you ever succeeded in anything in life that you didn't believe you could do? Never. But you believe you can do it because in a game and in The Sims, you see the results there. And so there's nothing stopping you from having the motivation there. What motivation really comes down to is belief that you'll get your thing. That's it. And having a powerful enough motivation. So for example, my first motivation was to get rich and have a cool car. I got that. But then it got really successful for me to get to the next level because I had enough money to get my dream house and a cool car, but I desired more. Not more money, more purpose. $100 million company, $500 million company, but more so than a $500 million company, a company that really fucks up shit in its industries. And to build a cybernetics company that changes how people live forever. Those are my goals, and that's my why. And I believe I can get those things. Or I believe I can make my best attempt, and I have a very good chance of achieving those things. So what these games do is they knock out belief right off the get-go. And so instead, you're able to start getting fulfillment because you set goals that are realistic. And what most people do in internet marketing or building a business is they set their first goal to get to $100 a day. That goal in World of Warcraft is like getting to level 50. Getting to level 50 takes about 100 hours of play. A lot of time and focus. Maybe more than that, honestly. And in The Sims, getting the biggest house in the game takes like a month of playing The Sims. And so when you start playing those games, if your goal, you don't set that goal because that's irrational. You just become upset. Like 15 minutes into the game, which is like the equivalent to like a month into learning entrepreneurship. 15 minutes into the game, if you're like, oh shit, I don't have $1 million making account, you're like, well, that's not how the game works. You're like, cool, but you see your sim getting promotions and gradually moving forward. So you're like, yeah, I'm fulfilled. This is fun. And you start getting fulfillment. You need to understand you're going to get fulfillment in business not from the money coming in, but by hitting your goals. And because you can, in World of Warcraft, track your goals and consistently see your goals, you start getting results really quickly. Because getting from level 1 to level 2 doesn't require anything. It's like kill 3 rabbits. But when we get into entrepreneurship, your goal isn't learn how to build a Facebook ad, which is equivalent to killing 3 rabbits. Your goal is to go full time, to become a professional. And so you don't hit that goal, and you don't really see progress towards that goal, and so you get really depressed and you don't have fun doing it. Therefore, you don't get fulfilled, and therefore you stop. In World of Warcraft, you hit that first goal really quickly, hit that second goal really quickly. And then when you get like to level 30, the goals start coming a little bit slower, but you have that belief built into you already. But you don't do that in business. People get into business and they don't get to $100 a day within 15 days. They have a few initial bumps, and that's because they're attaching their goals to something that's way down the road instead of attaching their goals to something they can control, like learning how to build a Facebook ad, making your first website, just talking to a client. And so what you need to do with your business and your goals is you need to set goals that you can find fulfillment in. Because when you have belief in fulfillment, you're going to have massive willpower. You're going to be having a lot of fun doing it. And you're going to see your goals coming and you're going to be getting excited. And it becomes really easy to focus on your goals. It becomes really easy, especially when you have a powerful purpose. And in World of Warcraft and The Sims, it's already set for you. Your purpose in WoW is to go out there and achieve greatness like all those people you see running around. And then in The Sims, your goal is to go out there and achieve greatness. But here's the really cool, crazy thing about these games that really motivate people. All people really want in their lives is to feel recognized and feel that they're worth something. That's the drive for 95% of people. You know, why are you afraid of being broke? Because then I won't feel like I'm worth something and people won't think I'm successful. That's it. Like most people, hunger, entertainment, air conditioning, the basics of living are covered. So why do you need to be successful? So I can feel good. And so what drives you to be successful is that social recognition. And both of these games provide it, because in The Sims, you feel like you're The Sims, so you start feeling socially recognized. You start feeling the attributes of a person who's reaching for success, and you start feeling better than other people in the game, at least. Same thing happens in WoW. You start getting better items and more indicators that you're better than other people. But where is that drive coming from? It's coming from competing with other people and surrounding yourself with virtual or real people online that you're competing with and that you want to be better than. But when people get into entrepreneurship, they do it on an island. They don't. How many entrepreneurship friends do you have? That will tell you how successful you're going to be in entrepreneurship. Because when I first got started, I had a bunch of entrepreneurship friends. I had my first mentor. I knew Devin, who's one of the founder of HCOM with me right now. And we've done a lot of great things there. And I've known so many people from way back in the day that are now multi-millionaires. And the weird thing is, because we were all in the same bubble together, we were all kind of competing with each other and seeing what the other person could do. One person would break through to the next level and go, oh, if he can do that, I can do that. And we just keep escalating ourselves. And that motivated us. So we had a social reason to go out there and motivate ourselves at the same time. And eventually, once you get to a certain level, you got to stop this to a certain extent. Your motivation can't be making more money than other people. It can't be going out there and having cooler things and stuff like that. It has to be going out there and contributing and adding more and building cooler things. But it's the same exact thing. And so what you need to do in entrepreneurship is you need to go and join those groups. You need to find entrepreneurs. You need to find people at your own level and people a little bit above you to start motivating you. If you logged into World of Warcraft and there was no one else playing the game, why would you level up? If you logged into The Sims and you had the only house on the block, why would you level up? So when you log into entrepreneurship and you're the only person you know doing entrepreneurship, why would you level up? Where's the reference point? Where's the place you can go to? And if you logged into World of Warcraft and there wasn't that crazy cool person standing in the middle of the city with all the best gear, and you're like, holy crap, I want to be like that guy, what would you have to level towards? Why wouldn't you just get to level 5 and kill a lot of rabbits? Because killing a rabbit at level 5 is pretty similar to killing the boss of the game. The process is pretty the same. You execute the same exact moves. I'm not joking. If you go and look at the top bosses in the game, sure, you move around a little bit and the steps to kill it are a little bit different, but you're using the same exact moves and pressing the same exact buttons. All that's different is the perception of yourself at those levels. And so what do you need to do to unlock massive willpower? You got to unlock these things. And so once you have willpower, you use that to create a routine that allows you to fill up all your bars all the way, your energy, your fulfillment, everything like that. You use that to unlock massive focus, to remove stuff from your life that breaks this routine. And if you can set that routine, you can make sure that when you're working, all your bars are filled up, and you are sure that that routine goes to ensuring that your bars are filled up while you're working, and that you're completing the objectives you need to unlock that creativity and clarity and skills, you're going to get 100x results. And the craziest thing about this is you know these things because you can do them in video games. People know these things. You know the decisions you need to make. You know the things you need to do. You know how it's supposed to work. And so all you have to do is break the barrier between the game. And the way you break that barrier between the game is you unlock the willpower. And after you do those things, you're unstoppable. You will get 100x better results in your life. And that's it.